Joining us now is our justice correspondent, Candace Kelley. Candace, just riveting moments. I mean, I remember I was in my bedroom, had the TV on in the living room, and heard, we have a verdict. They've reached a verdict. My heart stopped. Our whole family, we went to the TV and we're just standing there. The judge came out. He was stone-faced. So I was so nervous. I didn't know what was going to happen there. But wow, what a powerful outcome. Many people didn't think that this would happen. So were you surprised?
I was not surprised. I wasn't surprised because I think that when you looked at the facts, when you looked at the case, when you looked at the way that the prosecution presented the case, Najahe, I don't think that there was any other way that they could have gone, especially if we are starting with the lowest charge, because if you get all of them in on that false imprisonment and move up the ladder, then they're all kind of almost equally responsible for the death and murder of Ahmaud Arbery. So I wasn't surprised, though I was like you, a little bit of a gut-wrenching moment and hoping that it would come out the way that I thought it would come out. And the jurors saw exactly what we saw. So it was a good feeling at the end of something that was so bad, so terrible. And now it's time for a community down there in Georgia to try and heal. A difficult task, but they will try to do that.
Down to the sentencing, we know that their verdicts carry the weight of life in prison or even the death penalty. However, it's not clear if they'll actually have an option for parole or not. So how long do you think it'll take the sentencing to happen, and do you think that they will have any hope for parole?
Now, sentencing normally happens within 30 to 60 days. It depends upon the state statute. But in terms of parole, this is something that even if once they served, let's say it was 25 years, they wouldn't even be eligible for parole until that 25 years. But it is all in the judge's hands. It depends upon what the judge says. As we know, there are sentencing guidelines. He can follow those guidelines or not. As we see, judges rule their own courtrooms, whether it's in the Rittenhouse trial or this trial. So we don't know exactly how he's going to rule this courtroom in this particular international case. You can't even look at precedent, I would imagine, because this is such a unique case, a different case, and certainly all eyes are on him to make the right decision so that these men don't walk away with, say, 5 years apiece, which will not be the case. But we certainly hope that they get what they deserve.
Candace, I want to readdress something that you and I had a conversation about yesterday. 11 white jurors in a deep, racially divided southern town. There were so many concerns surrounding this jury, but in the end, these 11 white jurors and one black juror all came together in the name of Ahmaud Arbery and for justice. What kind of message does this send? What kind of precedent does this now set?
Well, I think it sends the message that if you do look at the justice system, track the justice system, pay attention to it. Listen, those people were out there and those jurors saw them every single day when they went out there. They saw the marchers. They saw the boots on the grounds. They saw the prayer vigil. They knew everything. There's no way that they could not. The goal was to be impartial, but it is good when you have people who are part of a community coming together to examine the justice system. In fact, that's how we got here to begin with. Looking at this recording, it's not because the district attorney said, hey, I looked at this recording and we need to do something. It's because the public and the people in the community said, we looked at the recording and we think you should do something. So when we look at that, we know that there is power in the people, there's power in numbers, and I think the more that we magnify it, then the better chance we have. And with these 11 jurors, 11 white jurors and one African-American juror, I know that they knew that the world was watching. I know that they knew that the world was watching. And I think that there were a lot of presumptions by the defense attorney about what type of community maybe they thought they lived in. And maybe they were wrong. So it will be interesting to hear from these jurors what their backgrounds were, what they thought about this case, and who they were as a people, especially the 11 white people. Who are they? And we'll probably discover that within the next week.
I can't wait to find out. I can't wait.
I want to know, because even Al Sharpton said it's a message to the world that this jury of 11 people stood up and said that Black lives do matter. And it's not over yet, though. There is another lawsuit. Ahmaud Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper-Jones, she filed a wrongful death lawsuit. But who is she suing exactly?
Well, she's suing everybody from a former district attorney who was indicted for showing favoritism. She is suing one of the witnesses who actually took the stand, because there are several police officers who she is suing, saying that they did not do their job. She is suing people who are part of the police force, saying, listen, overall, you guys did not do your job. And certainly she is suing the now convicted 3 defendants in this wrongful death lawsuit. So it's not over for her. We know that we're looking at appeals. We heard from the attorneys already saying that they would do that as soon as next week. And so this wrongful death lawsuit, I'm sure that now she can concentrate on this, especially as we move into the new year.
And Candace, we have just about 30 seconds. Take us forward. What's next?
Well, what's next is that we are looking at an appeal, and we are looking at a federal case that's going to come up on February 22 on hate crime charges, as well as possession charges of firearms and kidnapping. And while we didn't see race play a part in this case in terms of just really at the forefront, race is going to be a part in this federal case, because it does involve hate crime charges, which is the main charge of the violation of the civil rights of Ahmaud Arbery.
All right. Well, Candace Kelley, thanks for keeping us updated on all that. And of course, we will make sure we keep you at home updated as that sentencing comes down.